Kentucky has a couple of exciting freshmen coming in this season. It's a deep roster. What will their roles look like? We'll talk about it on today's episode of the Wildcats Today Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, publisher over at Kentucky Wildcats on SI, joined as always by Carson Nash, who turned a little bit older yesterday. Carson was celebrating his birthday. How old are you now, Carson? 36?
24, Kobe year.
24 years old. 24 years old. So everybody comments, say happy birthday to Carson. We're going to celebrate him this weekend. It should be a really good time. But getting into these freshmen, we're obviously the goal here. We're going to talk a lot about Jasper, Malachi. We'll talk about Braden Hawthorne as well. We're not going to have Yelovich be a member of this conversation just because we know he's going to play a big role. This is more about those other guys. So we're talking mostly Jasper, Malachi, a little bit of Hawthorne as well. But Carson, these two of them are currently, Jasper and Malachi are currently participating in this Team USA under 19 training camp stuff, and Coach Pope's there as a coach as well right now, and a lot going on there. But I think that the roles of Moreno and Jasper are two of the more interesting roles on this team because I think they're kind of wild cards. I mean, I don't – Malachi more so than Jasper. But, I mean, what – if you had to describe each of their roles, how would you describe them, Carson?
Well, yeah. First off, I wanted to say that Malachi is actually no longer at the USA camp because he got injured yesterday. But he didn't get cut because he wasn't playing well. Mark Pope talked about how well he had played previously in those open runs and scrimmages, especially on Sunday, he even stated. And it was knocking down 3-pointers, which is a little shocking, but that's exciting stuff. I would say, the roles to me, like you said, they're wild cards, right? I don't think Mark Pope has coached two talented players like this before in the past, because you got to think last year, the only incoming guy that was talented was Colin Chandler that was a freshman. So to this caliber, I think they are serious wild cards, especially the fact that Malachi is every bit of 7'1" and is very skilled, has fantastic footwork and a great defender. And then you got Jasper, who took over OTE and was dropping 20 almost every game, trying to dunk on everybody, and is a great facilitator and can bring the ball up the court. So, I mean, I would look for both of them to play sparing minutes. I don't know how many minutes those are going to be. That'll probably be more discussed throughout the summer after we get more of these workouts in and all of that good stuff.
I think the first few weeks of the season will be telling for these guys, especially for Moreno, because we don't know what's going to happen with Quaintance. And even if Quaintance is ready to go for game one, he will not be playing a ton of minutes. They will, kind of baby him back in, which they should. It's a good decision. And knowing that, Moreno is going to get his shot in the early season. And I think actually Potter will get a few minutes as well. I think we'll see both those guys playing some minutes. With Brandon Garrison, I think, being your headliner at center for the first few weeks of the season until JQ is fully back to being JQ. Jasper, and I talked about this a few weeks ago after Pope's press conference, and I've said Mark Pope has a way that he talks about players. When he talks about players, he always talks about character first. Great kid, great family, love this and this about him as a person. And he's a great shooter. That's how he talks about players. He was asked about Jasper Johnson, and it was the first time I've seen it, in a year and a half going to these, a year and a month or whatever of going to the Pope interviews. It's the first time I've seen him go straight to basketball on a player. And obviously he talked, I'm not saying he talked character. We all know Jasper's from here. We all know how good of a person he is. But what I'm saying is Mark Pope thinks Jasper Johnson is going to be the best thing since sliced bread. And where he gets his minutes is going to be interesting. I'm starting to lean, Carson, and this is a conversation for another day, but towards Aberdeen being the backup point guard, just based off what we've heard. Ortega talked about it the other day. Colin Chandler talked about it yesterday. Sounds like they like him there. But I think Jasper is going to mix in minutes Jasper's going to play, I think, more than 12 minutes a game. I feel very confident in that. Probably, I think he's got a shot at 15, but I think Mark Pope knows we don't know yet, which is just how good this kid can be.
Yeah, and I like your call on Aberdeen because I think Mark Pope values leadership at the point guard position. And, Denzel's a senior, played the last 5 minutes of the national championship, so he's got all the experience that you need.
Yeah.
So I like that call there. And I think Jasper, honestly, is better off the ball. I think he's great off the screens, and that dude can shoot it from half court if he wants to, and he'll make it. Like, he is absolutely ridiculous when it comes to three-point shooting. And he has crazy athleticism, and he's 6'5". So you get the full package with Jasper Johnson. So, I agree with you. And I would say probably around the 12 to 15-minute range as well. And that could also go up depending on how good he really is, because his upside is there. And for Malachi, it's almost like the situation we had last year when some of our players got banged up. They have a chance to embrace that and become better. And that's only going to help us in the long run, right? So JQ is not going to be as healthy at the beginning of the year, but those minutes for Malachi Moreno that JQ's not getting are going to be absolutely massive for the future of the team next year, getting him developed. And it's only going to make Moreno better, and it's going to make our team a whole lot better.
What I find funny about this season's roster is I think a lot of y'all are going to be sitting here listening to us talk about this and go, there's no way Jasper only plays 15 minutes, or Moreno, there's no way he's not going to see a ton of time. The reason that we're saying these things is because of how good and deep this roster is. There's a world where Jasper doesn't play a ton. There is. And it would take Cam Williams and Colin Chandler and Denzel Aberdeen all being stars, which is very realistic. But I'm just telling you, good basketball players won't be on the floor as much as you would expect this year. Whether it's Jasper or Cam Williams or Colin Chandler, whoever it ends up being. And then in the backcourt, in the front court, if it's Malachi, even I think Reese Potter's a solid, but like, that's my point. Like, this roster, Hawthorne's awesome. I think Hawthorne's upside. He's going to be in a Thiero-esque guy. He's not going to see a lot of playing time, if really any, this year, but he's going to be a good college player down the road, and you can go ahead and take that to the bank. But I just think that those two guys have so much talent. It's through the roof, and it's going to be hard to keep them off the floor. But that's why I think a lot of folks you're forgetting we got 12, 13 really good guys and 5 spots on the floor. You know what I mean? Not all 13 of them can go out there and play. And it's going to be interesting to see. That's going to be one of my top 2. I'd say the 4 things that we'll do a show on this maybe one day, but the 4 things that I'm paying attention to super heavy this offseason: the play of those two, Jasper and Malachi, Cam Williams, who's the backup point guard, and the battle between Mo D and Yelovich. Those are the 4 things.
I think I could include a 5th thing if Lowe becomes a star.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. And to where it's like, hell, play him 35 minutes and we won't worry about backup point guard. I mean, we'll put Aberdeen there for 5 minutes or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I think that what these two guys in Jasper and Malachi do this offseason is going to severely affect their playing time. I mean, they're going to have to prove it right now because there are veterans. I mean, you got BG and JQ and Potter in that room with Matt Moreno. You've got in that backcourt with Jasper, obviously Lowe's a veteran, Ortega's a veteran. Cam Williams has a year of college under his belt. So does Colin Chandler. Aberdeen's a wily veteran with a national championship ring. Mm-hmm. So these guys have a lot to prove, but I think they're going to prove it, Carson.
Heck yeah. And like you said, Jasper's a Lexington kid, Southland Chiefs oriented, shout out Southland Chiefs. But he's going to go and grind and earn that because he knows what it means to wear that jersey. And boy, does he have all the talent in the world. So I expect nothing less than greatness from Jasper Johnson, whether it be this year or if he has to stay 2 years. Yeah. But I know he's going to be great because he wants it bad, and you can tell.
Yeah. He just has it. I mean, he's one of those guys where you turn on the film on him and you just drop your jaw. He has that type of, and it's the mixture of the creating his own shot with the athleticism of the dunks and the layups and the floaters and the pull-up jump shots. That mixture makes him incredibly dangerous. Incredibly dangerous. So Moreno, to me, Jasper Johnson will be playing this year. He will be getting minutes. Unless the only thing I think that could happen is if, like I said, of those three guys, I think those are the three guys. Cam Williams, Aberdeen, Colin Chandler. We know Ortega and Jalen Lowe are going to be out there. If those three guys outplay Jasper, it's going to hurt his playing time. It will. That's just the reality. But if he is right there in the mix with those guys, and maybe of those four, he's ranked 2 or 3, he's going to get playing time. And I think it's going to be pretty darn significant. So Jasper, I think he's a 2-year player, Carson. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? We can have a short conversation. Do you think he's a 2-year guy?
I could see it going either way. Like you said earlier, he's a wild card, and you never know with these 5-star players. They could come in, and as much as he took a dive at the end of the rankings, and which was crazy, and didn't make the McDonald's All-American game, which was also crazy. That shows me that he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. So he's got something to prove here. And so with those type of players, you never know what's going to happen. So I could see him being a one and done if he comes out here and starts hitting shots from half court and passes the ball well, defends well enough, and it goes and gets it. But I think you're also right. It depends on Colin Chandler, Denzel Aberdeen, Ortega Owe, and it's just because those minutes are going to be hard to come by.
Yeah, they are. They're going to be like, it's a good problem to have. Like, if Jasper Johnson isn't playing a lot of minutes, it means we're really good. If Cam Williams isn't playing a lot of minutes, it means, because it just means someone else is beating out these good players. Someone else is, taking that step above. Like, there's no losing with this because we have so much talent. Someone's going to hit, someone's going to be a hit for this staff of those 4 guys. And, I think Jasper could be that player.
Like, in last year's situation, we got super injured, right? Yeah. So having the depth that we have where Jasper Johnson will be coming off your bench, like say Denzel Aberdeen tweaks his hammy and is out a couple games. Well, you just plug Jasper Johnson right in, and he fills that role instead of having to play Travis Perry or like as much as I love Ansley, he wasn't super athletic, but he was a great shooter. I mean, we won't have that problem this season.
Mm-hmm. I loved I wrote an article about this today. Yesterday at Trent Noah's thing. This was really bad ass. So I think if y'all haven't seen it, go listen to what he had to say about Travis. Now, I do not want to start anything. Y'all can see the quote. It seemed to me like he wasn't so he talked about Travis leaving. He was, I think what was the word he used? It was shocked or surprised or something. Whatever the word. That's not what I wrote about. But he talks about Travis, his best friend. They live together and all that, and wishes it well and all that. It was great. And then someone asks him, "Did you ever have thoughts of hitting the portal?" And the person asking the question didn't even have the opportunity to finish talking. He goes, No. Mark Pope has a vision for me and a plan for me. And I just like that. I'm not mad at Travis Perry at all. I'm not that, you know what I mean? Dude, go get your playing time. We're all good. No ill will against him. Not angry at him. Good person, great guy.
I'm interested. I was a little surprised that he transferred in conference, even though we knew about that as soon as he left here. But it'll be interesting to me to see how he physically keeps matching up against players in the SEC, because I just don't buy it.
Not well, probably, but we could be wrong. We've been wrong before. But I'm not saying that Trent Noah was throwing shade at Travis. I don't want to say it that way. What I'm saying is I liked how he's saying, he literally said, no, this is the best place on earth. That's what Trent Noah said.
And he also said every day it's surreal that he still gets to put on this jersey and it feels like the first time every day, which is so cool.
Yeah. So I just thought that was a cool quote. That was not trying to throw shade at Travis. No one take it that way. I just thought that was interesting. His response, like, I'm not going anywhere, man. This is my home. I love this place. I thought that was pretty darn cool. But he's also, Trent Noah's, I think, put on 10, 12 pounds of muscle.
Oh, he looks great. He looks like he's an SEC player now.
Yeah. He looks really, really good. I think that's going to help him out a lot. But yeah, these freshmen, Carson, are going to and Hawthorne's mixed in there, not as much on the same level as Johnson or
but I'll talk about him for a second because I think he's probably arguably the biggest wild card that we have on the whole entire roster because he's 6'8" and not done growing. So I don't think he'll play much minutes at all this season unless it's like we're just whooping somebody and he gets in at the end of the game. Yeah. But I mean, he could grow to 6'11" and have guard skills and become the next like AD. You know how AD went from 6'2" to 6'10" and became that guy? I think Hawthorne has the chance to be super, super special.
Yeah, I do too. He's the type of kid that like when it clicks, and it will click, I think he's going to be a star. There's a chance it's this year. I'd put that chance at 5%. Yeah. But I think that next year, I think that he's going to take that Aduthiero mold. He's going to play a couple minutes this year and some cleanup roles. Maybe an injury will lead him into playing 10 minutes, a couple games. And then next year you go, this time next year we're going, Hawthorne's getting ready to take a big jump. Same conversations we're having about Trent Noah and Colin Chandler right now. I think you're going to be having that about Hawthorne next year, except for I think he's a kid that can be a top 20 pick in the NBA draft if his upside hits. And I don't think that's crazy to say. It's just when will it happen? When will it happen? And I don't think it'll be this year. But I'll tell you this. I think that I have a feeling. But and I'll tell you this, Carson. I think speaking on Jasper a little bit, I mean, and he's the one I want to highlight because Moreno's going to get his minutes. He's going to get some minutes. But Jasper has the upside to be the best player on this basketball team, on a team with Otega Owe. And that will, I mean, it would take every bit of his potential and upside clicking this summer. I'm not saying it's going to be easy for a freshman, but he has the skills to be an incredibly special basketball player. And when it comes together, and I look at Jasper Johnson, Carson, as a 2-year player for us. I think that he's going to play significant minutes. I think he'll average 7-8 points a game for us, play well. I think we've talked about it. I think Cam Williams goes to the NBA draft. Obviously, I think Otega goes. And I think that you're going to get Jasper back, and he's going to be like our starting 2 next year alongside like Lowe, and our backcourt's going to be freaking nuts. Mm-hmm. I just have that feeling about Jasper because these minutes will be hard to come by unless he just gets drafted on his upside to the NBA. But in the new day and age of NIL, he's going to have incentive to want to come back.
The concerns with Jasper for me is just the physicality, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, he's just not built. He hasn't gotten in the Kentucky weight room yet, which that'll change. But in the SEC, you have to be a physical guard and get downhill well to really tap into that full potential.
I agree. And now to speak on Moreno for a second, I've seen a lot of folks talk about Moreno and say, well, he's playing at Great Crossing. He's 7'1", guarding 6'4" kids every night in high school. I agree with you. And I've actually at times shared that same concern. And I've been vocal. I've told you that, Carson. We've talked about it. I think I've said on here a time or two. But the pushback to that is every time he's been asked to go and perform against other elite talent of his age group, he has shown up and he has shined.
He stands out.
Yeah. And you're going to have Louisville fans, you know, he did kind of get dunked on. We can't deny that. I'll give him that.
I mean, that's fine. That'll be their watch shot. I mean, they still can't beat us.
No, they won't. But what I'm saying is people are going to try and tell us that's been the narrative. That's the reason I bring that up. That's the narrative I've seen on Twitter these last 2 or 3 days is, a 7'1" kid playing against 6'5" kids. He's shown up everywhere. He had a great showing at the McDonald's All-American game. He did well in this camp with the injury. You know, he got cut, but you know, like Jack Pilgrim said, I mean, the injury, and I don't think that would have happened. He was playing well. He was playing good ball. He is a good basketball player, and it's going to translate to the SEC. Do I think he should probably put on 10 pounds of muscle this offseason? For sure. Will he? Definitely will. And but that's the thing. He'll be going against BG and JQ and Yelovich and Mo Diabate, the rest of this front court. And he's going to be SEC ready in 2 or 3 months. I'm just telling you. So there's going to be a learning curve, but I think that he's going to get over it pretty quickly. And when he is ready to play a lot of minutes, he's going to be special. And it might not be this year. It really might not be for Malachi Moreno. But if he sticks around in this program and if he doesn't play much this year and he does come back next year, kid's going to be an absolute stud for Mark Pope because he is so fluid. He's great around the rim. He's a great rebounder, shot blocker. He just does everything well, and it looks smooth. And that's to me how you pass the eyeball test is you don't look clanky. You aren't throwing the ball. It's smooth. He's got great touch. This kid, when it all comes together, is going to be special.
Yeah, he's like I said, I love his footwork. He's one of the most fundamentally sound high school kids I've seen in a very, very long time. I think it's the physical attributes that he needs to work on a little bit, like you said, getting in the gym, probably getting on the Vertimax a little bit. And once he does that, he'll be completely fine. And I think he'll end up being dominant at Kentucky. I'm willing to say that because he is a standout.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you on that. I have a couple shout outs to give before we move on. First, did you catch what happened this weekend between the Reds and the Tigers?
Oh, yeah. Go Red Legs.
The Tigers win that? No, the Tigers
no.
Yeah. The Reds snapped their streak of what was either 32 or 39 straight series of when they lose the first game of the series, they lose the series. Sad that happened, but whatever, it's over now. Can't say it anymore. It's like the Kentucky-Florida streak. And the Bourbon Bombers in our softball league, enjoy Cancun. Those guys were being some punks yesterday. I didn't appreciate it. If any of you Bourbon Bombers are listening to this, enjoy Cancun. Those guys were punks, and we were like 0-4 against them, and then they got belt to ass yesterday in the playoffs. So enjoy Cancun. And those are my thoughts there. But, Carson, do you have any other thoughts on these two freshmen or Hawthorne?
No, that's all I got. All three guys I'm super, super excited for, and I think they're going to all tap into their full potential. And I would say all three end up getting drafted one day.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that if I were to bet right now, I guess you'd have probably 10 different options. Just Hawthorne goes, just Jasper goes, just Malachi goes, and then 2 go, and then all 3 go. You have those options. If I were to bet right now on the options, I think all 3 are back at Kentucky next season. The one that worries me is Jasper because I think he will be NBA ready. It's a matter of we're going to have 4 or 5 people in that backcourt that are also NBA ready. So it's going to be tough for him to get those minutes. Kid is going to be a stud. Malachi is going to have his time. I don't think it's this year. He's going to play some minutes. He's going to play. I just don't know if it's enough to go pro. It's not going to be enough to put that on film to go pro, I think. And then Hawthorne, for sure, I think is a 2-year project. And I think it's going to be a very well worth that scholarship spot because he's going to be good. He could grow to 7'1" with the guard's handle. Yeah. I mean, he's that type. Because when you look at him, he's got that body. You know what I mean? He's got that body.
It's like that Victor Wembanyama build a little bit where he's super lengthy. His arms are longer than his whole body.
Yeah. He's got the alien. He's just long. He's got long arms. And he like I'm telling you, he's going to grow into that. I think he's got 2 or 3 more inches in him. I mean, I think he gets to 6'10", 11, for sure. Oh, and when he does, I think he can be a star player, not only in Kentucky, but I think in the NBA. Seriously. Yeah. So, as we get deeper into the offseason, Carson and I will talk more about the roles of different players. We talked about Lowe yesterday. Heard more great things. Trent Noah talked exactly about that yesterday. It was I asked him, hey, and he brought it. I love this has been discussed within that locker room about Lowe because he talked about I know his percentages. And you need to listen to that quote if you haven't seen it, Carson. I mean, he dunks on Pitt. He's like, yeah, in essence, he's like, yeah. And that, I mean, he kind of had to in that offense. It was pretty fun. But talked about how he's watched Lowe and Lowe is a knockdown shooter. And we're going to see that this year. And it's going to be the best feeling in the world to just throw the bird at Tennessee and Louisville and Arkansas fans when Lowe shoots 39% from 3 on 2 or 3 attempts a game. It's going to be great, and it's going to happen. So just be ready for that.
Mm-hmm. I've got bookmarks.
Yeah, we need to. We're putting them on here, right here. Yeah. If you've ever tweeted anything stupid about Jalen Lowe, delete it right now because it will be right here when he is an all-SEC point guard. Just letting you know that's happening. So any other thoughts, Carson, before we call it a day?
That's all I got. Hope everyone has a good rest of their Tuesday.
Yep. Hope everyone has a good rest of your day. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We'd really appreciate that. Hope everyone has a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next time right here on the Wildcats Today podcast.